the skeletal system and the nervous system. Our body is made up of various parts called organs. The organs perform different functions so that our body works like a machine efficiently. Sometimes, more than one organ, along with smaller body parts, form a team and together do a specific task. These organs together make an organ system. There are different organ systems in our body and each has a special function. The digestive system works for the digestion of food that we eat. The respiratory system takes care of the breathing process. The nervous system controls all the functions of the body. The circulatory system controls the pumping of blood by the heart and the flow of blood all over the body. The reproductive system enables us to produce babies. The excretory system helps to throw out the waste materials from the body. In this chapter, we will study the skeletal system and the nervous system. Skeletal system. The skeletal system is a rigid framework of bones. It provides support, shape, and strength to the body, protects the internal organs, and also helps in the movement of body parts. There are 206 bones in an adult human body. The skeletal system consists of skull, backbone, ribcage, and limbs. Look at the picture and observe all the bones all of us have in our body: skull, jawbone, shoulder bone, ribs, upper arm bone, spine, lower arm bones, hip bone, hand bone, thigh bone, kneecap, calf bone, shin bone, foot bone. This makes the skeletal system. Fascinating facts. Orthopedics is the study of skeletal system for doctors to cure bone diseases. The largest and the strongest bone of the body is the thigh bone called femur. The smallest bone in the body called the stapes is found in the ears. The skull. The skull is the bony framework of the head. It protects the brain. The skull consists of 8 cranial and 14 facial bones, thus making a total of 22 bones. The cranial bones make up a protective frame around the brain. Only the lower jawbone is movable. All other bones in the skull are fixed and thus immobile. We are able to talk and eat because of the movable lower jaw. The backbone. The backbone is also known as the vertebral column or the spine. It consists of 33 irregularly shaped bones called the vertebra. These 33 bones form a strong framework which protects the spinal cord. The vertebral column enables us to stand upright and maintain our balance. The rib cage. Ribs are bones that are thin, flat, and curved. They form a protective cage around the heart and the lungs called the rib cage. The rib cage consists of 24 bones arranged into 12 pairs of ribs. The ribs are connected to the breastbone or sternum in front and to the backbone in the back. Apart from protecting the heart and lungs, the ribs also protect parts of stomach, spleen, and kidneys. The limbs. The human body has 2 pairs of limbs, the forelimbs or the arms and the hind limbs or the legs. The thigh bone, known as the femur, is the longest bone in the body. Fascinating fact. The smallest bone in our body is the stapes. It is only 2.8 millimeters long. They are present in our ears. Functions of the skeleton. The skeleton's bones give our bodies proper shape, strength, and good support to the muscles in our body. They protect the internal organs. The skull protects the brain, and the backbone protects the spinal cord, The rib cage protects the lungs and heart. The eyeballs are located inside the bony eye socket. White blood cells and red blood cells are produced by the soft marrow inside our bone. Joints. The places where bones meet are called joints. At the joints, the bones are held together by muscles and tissues called ligaments. These help the bones in the knee, ankle, elbow, hips, shoulders, etc., and are some of the joints in our body. Joints at different places allow different movements. For example, we can rotate our wrist, but we cannot rotate our knees. There are 4 types of movable joints in the body. The knee and elbow are hinge joints. They can only move backward and forward. The hip and shoulder joints are ball and socket joints. One bone of this pin ends in a ball that fits in a hole on the other bone. In these joints, the bone that ends in a ball can move in many directions. The skull is connected to the spine with a pivot joint. It allows the head to move in different directions. The wrist and the ankle are gliding joints where the bones glide against each other. The bones of the skeletal system are very important as they keep the body upright and help it move. We should take care of our bones by eating a lot of calcium-rich food. If we do not take care of ourselves, we can get diseases such as osteoporosis and arthritis. When you break a bone accidentally, it is called a fracture. The muscles. The skeletal system is covered with muscles. There are more than 600 muscles in the human body. Muscles are made of long and strong fibers. The muscular system helps the body with movement. Some muscles are attached to the bones. These muscles pull the bones and help with movement. The leg muscles help to walk and jump. The arm muscles help to lift things. The facial muscles help to smile, blink, and wink. Muscles which are not attached to the bones do things like push food into the alimentary canal, pump blood, etc. Types of muscles in our body. Some muscles are attached to the bones of the skeleton. We can control their movement at will. Hence, they are called voluntary muscles. Some other muscles are not under our control. They are called involuntary muscles. For example, the muscles in the heart pump blood to all parts of our body. Those in lungs help us to breathe all the time. How do muscles work? Voluntary muscles are attached to the bones by strong bands of fiber called tendons. Muscles pull the bones together and thus produce movement. Muscles can contract and relax. When the muscles contract or shorten, the bones become closer. When you raise your lower arm, the biceps muscles in your upper arm contract and pull the bones in the lower arm upwards. At the same time, the triceps muscle relax. When you straighten the lower arm, the reverse happens. The biceps relax and the triceps contract. How should we take care of our muscles? We can keep our muscles strong and active by doing regular exercise and eating a balanced diet, and also by taking proper rest regularly. To keep muscles in good shape, one should maintain good posture. The nervous system. The network of nerves that transits nerve impulses between parts of the body is known as nervous system. The nervous system is an important organ system in our body, and it controls the movements of the sense organs and other body systems. All the actions of our body are controlled by the nervous system, like smell, touch, taste, pain, feelings, happiness, sorrow, etc. The human nervous system can be divided into 3 parts. The central nervous system, which consists of brain and spinal cord, the peripheral nervous system, consists of nerves arising from the brain and the spinal cord, and the autonomic nervous system, which is made up of special collections of nerve cells, ganglia, and nerves, and controls the working of the internal organs. This system is not under the control of our own. The brain. The brain fills up most of the space in the head. The skull protects the brain. An adult brain weighs about 1.4 kg. The brain is the main control and coordination center of the human body. It coordinates all the actions and reactions of the body by receiving different messages through the nerves, recognizing them, and sending messages through the nerves to different parts of the body to respond as required. The brain helps a person to think, remember, feel, and control body movements. The brain has three main parts. Cerebrum. The cerebrum forms the largest part of the brain. Its surface has deep folds. It receives messages from the sense organs and sends back messages about what has to be done. The cerebrum is the center of learning, memory, intelligence, and reasoning. The cerebellum. The cerebellum or small brain is situated at the back of the head. It controls, coordinates the movement of the voluntary muscles. It helps to balance the body while walking, running, or cycling, and even helps to keep you in an upright position. The medulla. The medulla connects the brain to the spinal cord. It controls involuntary actions like beating of the heart, breathing of lungs. It works even when a person is asleep. It is also called medulla oblongata. These three parts of the brain needs a continuous supply of oxygen to function properly. The spinal cord. The spinal cord is a thick bundle of nerves that begins at the medulla and goes up to the middle of the back. It is protected by the backbone from any damage. The nerves in the spinal cord send information from all parts of the body to the brain and carry instructions from brain to different parts of the body. The nerves. The nerve link our body parts to the brain through the spinal cord. The nerve cells, also called neurons, have tiny branches coming out of them which help them to connect to other neurons. In this way, the neurons are interconnected and are able to send and receive messages. Neurons are the basic building blocks of the nervous system. The three main types of neurons are motor neurons, sensory neurons, and interneurons or connecting neurons. Sensory neurons carry information from the sense organ to the brain and the spinal cord. Motor neurons send signals from the brain to the muscles. Connecting neurons pass information between the sensory neurons and motor neurons. Working of the nervous system. Let us understand how the nervous system works. You are playing football. Your teammate passes the ball to you. You must hit it towards a goal post. How does your brain direct your actions? As you see the ball coming, the message goes through your nerves to the spinal cord and from there to the brain. The brain tells you to stop the ball and hit it towards a goal post. From the brain, this message is carried by the nerves to the spinal cord and from there to the bones and muscles. They work together and you hit the ball. This exchange of information takes place so fast that you act swiftly. The reflex actions. There are two types of actions in our body, that is, voluntary action and involuntary action. Involuntary actions are without will, and voluntary actions are performed with the will. The involuntary actions are the reflex actions. There are a large number of reflex actions performed in our daily life. Reflexes control breathing, heartbeat, movement of the alimentary canal, blood pressure, secretion of juice, etc. Reflex actions are automatic responses to stimuli. They are controlled by the spinal cord. Some examples of reflex actions are: if a finger is accidentally pricked by a thorn, your hand moves away from the thorn. Watering of the mouth upon smelling good food. Closing of your eyes if a strong light is suddenly flashed on them. Hand withdrawal when suddenly touched by a hot object. Memory. We are born with all the nerves we need, but many of them are not connected. As we learn new things, our brain makes new connections with nerves and store the information. This is what we remember. When we need the information again, our brain remembers these links. Let's sum up. Bones form the skeletal system and muscles form the muscular system. The human skeleton contains the skull, the backbone, the rib cage, and the two pairs of limbs, forelimbs and hind limbs. A joint is a place where two bones meet. Our body has different kinds of joints: the ball and the socket joint, the hinge joint, the pivot joint, and the gliding joint. Muscles help us to move any part of our body. There are two kinds of muscles in our body: voluntary muscles, involuntary muscles. The nervous system allows us to react to our surroundings. The nervous system has three main parts: the nerves, the brain, and the spinal cord. The human brain has three parts: cerebrum, cerebellum, and medulla. The spinal cord is a thick cord of nerve tissues. Reflex actions are automatic responses to stimuli and are controlled by spinal cord. Our body has three different kinds of nerves: motor nerves, sensory nerves, and mixed nerves. There are 5 sense organs in our body: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin.